Okay, I need to turn the alarm back on. It's currently 11:36, but I'm having a blast. So let's see what's going on. Let's see what's going on. Okay. Oh, 8% of the phone. Oh, I need to
You
turn
see
back
a
in.
set of tattered curtains blocking the way to another room. A strange cage-like trinket dangles from the curtains.
Let me in.
You see a dimly lit room full of dusty furniture and trash. A doorway stands in the back, covered in dozens of scary little Seminese wards, your shadow looming over it like an omen.
Oh!
A small, terrified "oh" escapes from Plaisance as she tries her best to look away, her round face buried in her hands. Ghostly silhouettes of hair dryers. A vaguely androgynous portrait of a man.
A heavy door with a missing handle stands before you, covered in dozens, if not hundreds, of Seminese trinkets and charms. It appears to be locked.
God damn, it's pain threshold again? I need some clothes that boost pain threshold.
Only an echo. No one is there. A hollowed-out, dark echo.
I guess there's not much behind the door.
After exerting some force, you manage to turn the key. It's eerily silent. The door slides slightly open, letting a draft of cold air into the room.
Very nice. I like the shadow work here. Some kind of home gym? Oh, Kim, what do you have to say?
What is this place?
The lieutenant stares at the dusty training equipment. I think this may be the Armiteps Boxing Club for young athletes.
I think you're right, though it looks like no one's been here in ages. I doubt the electricity still works. Good thing we have a flashlight on us. Don't forget to take it out of your bag before we move on.
Some specks of dust shimmer in a ray of streetlight falling from the window. Other than that, the room is dark. An eerie feeling rises in your chest.
What if there's a reason why no one's been here
Yes,
for ages?
because it's closed. No need to look for supernatural explanations where a banal one will do. Now let's move on, shall we?
I wonder what this universe's version of Occam's razor is, huh? Sand is dripping from a punch bag. Shot put 13! Oh, a ball! The poster says, Coitus fortis, the rest is worn off. Smells like wet leather and sweat. Worn out wall bars, they look unsafe.
A barbell lies on the floor. The color has worn off its weight plates. It's 60 kilograms. Your triceps hum at the sight of these weights. Show the world what kind of beast it's dealing with. Lift them.
No, thank you, physical
There
instrument.
are no collars on the barbell. This is a safety hazard.
Ooh. Look, Kim, it's a trap. There are no collars
You're
on the
right.
barbell.
The weight may fall off. Better not touch it then.
Kind of. Actually, I don't really care about safety
No one
hazards.
does until they get smashed under the barbell.
I'll have to come back for that. I don't want to smash my feet off. I can only get a minor, extremely minor bonus. Because it's physical instrument this time. And that's not something easily repaired with clothing. Damn. The hallway is blocked by old window panes and debris. Wait a minute, if I'm skulking around here, will I encounter that strange waxed woman? I have to pursue this. Looks like the remains of the 24H window repair shop. 24-hour window repair shop. Merely looking at that unmanly haircut threatens your masculinity. Why? My red stats are going off kilter. But I must investigate this.
An old call box with a matrix. East Delta Commerce Center. This must be the name of the doomed commercial area.
Oh, East Delta Commerce Center. First of all, this doesn't give me volition.
An old East Delta Commerce Center.
Let's do my
This
best.
must be the name of the doomed commercial area. No. Hold on. The last thing you need in your life is more hysteric emotions. Forget it. Find something else to do.
I guess I'll never hear that. Maybe there's some money, Cress. Oh, the taxidermy place. Wild animals stare at you in the dark, stuffed and mounted. A large demijohn full of strange liquid. Airship routers covered in spider webs. They remind you of blades. Damn. A naked mannequin torso. A strange yellow color. $3. Blue velvet. Soft to the touch. Moth bin. Another $2. But where are the clothes it used to display?
This appears to be some kind of machine with a cube-shaped heart and a wired framework. The keyboard has a rectangular on-off button.
Printer?
A piece of paper still hangs from the printer.
A radio computer.
Oh.
Just sitting here without anyone inside.
You sound surprised and a bit cautious.
What he means is that these things cost money. Why would anyone just leave it behind? This is the Ream Civic radio computer, model RC5120, equipped with a Feld mainframe and a Ream-compatible printer.
Do you think I should turn it on?
We have one of these down at the station, but I never really learned how to use it.
The machine lights up like some prehistoric animal stirring from its slumber, revealing fluorescent play and print keys on the keyboard. The hatch on the machine's central compartment is wide open.
What's going on
It's
in
empty
there?
like a beehive without its brood. Some cables have been left dangling, disconnected.
This is where the memory should go.
But there isn't any.
Nothing happens. Something's missing. There's no tape in the player. Nothing happens.
To find things for that. Scribbled across a notebook, developers of the most advanced RPG in the universe.
This old fireplace is covered in lines drawn in blue and red marker, the mesh spreading over the stone like blood vessels on alabaster skin. It looks ghostly and strangely ancient. The whole thing resembles Kadran mosaic tiles. Very pedantic.
Wait, conceptualization? That is an encyclopedia job. How do I know what those look like?
History classes, students with their textbooks open, studying the roots of our civilization. Those aquarelle blue tiles looked beautiful in the sun. Radio frequencies, it seems. UKV 123.6, UKV 123.7, UKV 123.9. Some written notes, too. Sparse and cryptic.
Radio
Unclear.
frequencies?
It looks like a cardiovascular system split into veins and capillaries. Very advanced.
Of course. The anatomy of the
Perhaps.
corpse.
The web is comprised of radio stations, all lead back to one red heart, titled the Game Master Frequency. A note says, this one can listen in on any station it wants. They must have had
Conspiracy.
massive airwidth. These things don't come cheap.
Who's the game
Someone's
master?
very important. A conductor for the hundreds of story threads that pass through the Game Master's frequency.
But who's playing
Whoever
the
decides to
game?
call in to a call-in station, it looks like. A list of names under the stations suggests people across 6 Isolas would be playing. Muindi, Insulinda, Kotla, Grad, Samara, and even Il Mara. There's no way a little basement studio working here could pull anything like this off.
My god. It's as if the less money they had, the more ambitious their project became.
Cost of the hair with the loan would have been huge.
Exactly. This schedule, I know doom when I see it. The company was running out of funding.
Nothing. It's just lines on marble. An echo from times long gone. No one has used the fireplace in ages.
Poor sap.
Your
didn't know how
flashlight slides over an old green chalkboard covered in scribbles,
There's an elf.
sketches, and schemes, like some ancient cave mural. Some of the writing has faded with age, but you can still make out sections here and there. Photos and drawings have been pinned to the board.
I must not be following very well. I honestly thought that maybe it's because I'm getting more tired, but I thought the fireplace. I honestly thought the fireplace would be some kind of strange conspiratorial scamp that's just living in here, catching on to some odd, extremely odd situation. But I guess, that's why Kim's here, to make sure I'm on track. So instead of me thinking the cursed person is just on some kind of humongous game master radio conspiracy, he can rein it in and say, damn, yeah, these guys are developing a game they could not pay for.
These lithe, pointy-eared creatures appear to be different types of Welkins. You make out autumnal candle Welkins casting wax-based magic.
Weird.
Translucent Welkins with organs shining under their skin, and even ether Welkins hailing from the vast emptiness of sidereal space.
Another expansion.
You should adopt one of those Welkins as your persona.
No.
No longer a mere man, but a
Yeah.
Welkin. One of the
Rather not.
Welkins, towering among the rest, appears to be different, however. It's Vara Hamira, a high Welkin, his face white and scarred like cracked marble. This is clearly a Welkin supremacist.
Oh.
The note says, all non-Welkin races will be purged. The Haldor, the Twarg, the humans, and even headless men, all of them, purged. Imagine a world filled only with Welkin, Green Welkin, Dread Welkin, and the High Welkin to rule them all.
Well, I guess it's a good thing that they're pretty much the same as
An
humans, but
inordinate
with
amount of
ears.
time has gone into drawing these little Welkin creatures.
Who are these creatures? Who drew them? Are they real?
This looks like concept art for a project. It's not really real.
Oh.
Some people really like building a world, I think, even if it's just for a game. Political commentary. That one has a great beard, too. Just look at those details. So much effort.
For nothing.
The photo collage depicts barren, icy landscapes wrapped in perpetual night. You see permafrost and glacial landforms, dead trees grown in under the snow. Entire oceans have been frozen from shore to shore. There are pictures of settlements on dried up riverbeds, abandoned in a storm. Animal corpses in the dark, carcasses and bones.
Wasteland.
You see primitive oil rigs built into glaciers, boreal dvorg, yurts under the snow, great mammoth-like beasts of burden.
Are they like, I guess...
A pinned postcard reads, "The heat death scenario. A desperate fight for geothermal energy engulfs the world as Wirral becomes untethered from its sun, drifting through the universe."
That's kind of extreme. I thought the Wirral stuff was high fantasy. Wow.
This is a monthly calendar from the year 50. Cryptic words like sprint, daily minimi, and GPI span the marker-drawn grid, the grand scheme of production and money. It looks a bit like an academic calendar, only much more brutal. Minimi stands for a mini meeting. It's part of a bigger framework for managing work called RUN. Station 41 tried to implement it a few years ago, but failed. As time goes on, the numbers in the boxes grow rarer and rarer. The board becomes an empty snowfield in the final days. Only failure and regret dwell in this region.
Nothing's going
Looks
on.
like they didn't make it.
A note in the bottom left corner of the chalkboard says, "See the prod schedule filament for details." The handwriting is only partly legible, but you can still make out 3 slogans: "Call in, tune out," "Wirral untethered," and "Heat death of the universe."
Oh, I'm starting to...
The full text reads, "Heat death of the universe is the new black." Another note says, "The biggest advancement in role-playing systems since the 30s.
So, were they trying to make it so the game masters, players could call in from all over the world to play the Wirral game in their situation where it was...
Okay. What do you think is going on with that computer, chalkboard, and
They
fireplace?
were spinning out...
Yes, that is the question.
Like he's ready to lay out a fine theory, crafted together like a puzzle box."
Before he says anything, my theory is that this was a failed gaming company that tried to... Oh, hey, you just sent me something tells me there's a chance you'll like this. I'll have to look at that slightly later. Thanks. Actually, what is it? Okay, it's just the link. I'll click on the link later. Was my theory now is that this part of the building was a failed gaming company doing roleplay Wirral stuff like what we saw in the traditional boxes in the bookstore. Romance, crime, and biologies, autobiographies of famous people or something like that. We saw that in the bookstore. They're trying to make an expansion on Wirral, or maybe a fan Wirral project. Kind of like those Kickstarter campaigns they have all the time with like extra books and props and dice and stuff. Except I guess they were doing it on their own, huh? Where anyone could call from all over the world and act out as their characters in the Wirral scenario where the Earth, the planet was spinning out of orbit with its sun and they were fighting for the geothermal power. So it's like, I guess Kim was right when he said they got more ambitious as the funding dried up because, I guess they ran out of chalkboards and started scribbling on the walls. Looks like it started out as on the whiteboard as just a classic expansion, and then they got a bit theoretical.
It looks like one of those popular pen and paper role-playing games, only these people were trying to automate it, make it work on radio computers. Through call-in stations. None of the players have to be physically present. Anyone in the world can participate in the game, as long as they have a two-way radio. Then there's the Game Master frequency that listens in on the smaller call-in stations. I think that was supposed to coordinate the stories, functioning as a master of ceremonies of sorts.
Oh, that makes so... Kim, you're so smart. Yeah, that was the main problem I had. I didn't really say anything about it, but the main problem was that how would how would they select the players if anyone across the world could call in? I mean, for what I remember, just in the Insulindi, 8,500 million people live in just this spread of islands, and it's into all the Isoldes. Yeah, it's. I guess that makes sense. It's in like a bunch of little clusters, and then the game master frequency listens into all the clusters, and then all the clusters act as different groups of people, like the worms and the whirls and the humans and stuff, and they all fight in a grand narrative.
Coordinating so many games would take a whole switchboard of people, possibly divided into sub-frequencies.
Not to my knowledge. They make automated games in Graz, Messina, Königstein. Places with industry.
Not in Revachol West, among the ruins.
Poor place for it.
But I don't think anyone has attempted to create an interisolary game before. We just don't have the technology.
Something that is kind of curious about the game is that, on one hand, it's really a fascinating replica of an extremely believable human space in just, it's as if Earth just looked different geographically and nothing else changed. But then it's like 8,000 years into the future, or I guess since we're in 2024, it'll be 6,000 years into the future, and they don't even have computers. I mean, they have radio computers, and they have sort of computers, and they have 3D printers, but it's like... Maybe it's just because, this place is not very fortunate, but it feels it's almost low tech. It's a little grounded. It's as if this was from 30 years ago, but it's as if 30 years ago stretched on into infinity.
Indeed, those Welkins are a dead giveaway. Role-playing people love that stuff. The world looks like a modified version of the WeWorld board game, with heat death thrown in.
Super cool. Someone should give them millions of real immediately. This game is too good to be left unfinished.
That would be pretty fun.
No idea. They stopped filling out the schedule on the chalkboard.
Wow.
Indeed, it's ambitious and untethered from reality, but... Yes, especially in here. Okay, let's keep moving.
Did you hear that? Oh, wait. Is this Emma's atelier? I don't know how to say that. Skis with slipstream printed on the laminated top layer. This is where that woman was supposed to be. Production schedule, filament memory. Steel rudder blades bearing a strip sleeve. A ball used for playing shot put, a favorite pastime of elderly gentlemen. You feel like you should hold on to this and make good use of it. To sell such a beautiful old school sports equipment would be a sin. The cube-like crisscross of filaments feels oddly fragile in your hand, its intricate structure covered in dust. Silver tape on the side reads, Production Schedule. Note, this filament contains information that can be read using a radio computer. I know what I am doing today.
Tiles on the cube are still smoldering, like a smooth draw. The filament slides into place. On the keyboard, the play key starts blinking. A bar of fabric right above the keyboard starts producing a soft hum. The sound of static seeps through the machine's planar magnetic driver. The static gets louder, slowly filling up the abandoned hall, until a voice speaks out, crackling and old, cutting into the air.
Good evening, Fortress Accident en rue de Saint-Ghislaine. This is East Insulindian Repeater Station 1.
Wait, what is this?
Please repeat. Is this the production schedule?
What?
The filament you have inserted into the reader?
Yes?
Yes. Is that the production schedule?
I think so.
Good. Please repeat the password.
Oh, what? This isn't a... That's a normal printer. The radio computer. Do I have to radio in?
Password. Of course it would have a password. That's why there's a human administrator involved.
Yes, they don't have any
No.
computers.
A hint system is not part of the protocol for repeater stations.
This is the police.
I am contractually obliged to protect the privacy of the filament holder Fortress Accident. Without filing a warrant with Lintel, I cannot give you access to this filament.
I'm afraid we are not doing that, unless we want to wait for a month.
Now,
Rats.
can you please repeat the password?
The voice in the machine asks again. She sounds cold in the damp air.
Still no. Received. I will register this login attempt.
Don't worry. Passwords have a way of turning up sooner or later.
I knew it was too
Fortress
easy to be true.
Accident. Is there anything else I can do for you today? Fortress Accident is the company on whose name the terminal you are currently using has been registered to.
I think they would have scrubbed it after the business went kaput.
One moment.
You hear her flip through a catalog before she reads it out with studious care.
Fortress Accident SCA produces revolutionary interactive call-in radio games. That's what the catalog says.
That's not bad.
Wow, so conceptual. And what's that, this interactive call-in radio game?
Any other questions?
What are you, a machine?
Yes, I am alive. I am 74 years old and my name is Yvonne.
She repeats passwords. Programming people are all paranoid.
How did you know
I
where
work
I am?
as a repeater at the East Insulindian Repeater Station. It's my job to know where you are, Fortress Accident. As for me, well, I am sitting in my cubicle, surrounded by a wall of radios. Now, please tell me if there's anything else I can do, Fortress Accident. Thank you, and goodbye.
Tiles on the cube are still smoldering, casting the framework in a soft glow. Fluorescent play and print keys shine on the keyboard.
Can I print?
Nothing happens.
Oh.
The filament slides out of its glowing nest.
Well, yeah. Should have thought that was too easy. Whoa. Whoa, am I... Boiler room? Is this the chimney? Bear? What? $2 magnesium. Is this a refrigerator? Like it's some kind of ice sculpture?
You see a terrifying ice bear with a strange compartment in its belly. The door is covered in frost, and the bear's eyes are glowing red.
What?
The bear looks oddly realistic. Is it taxidermy?
Of course it is.
The lieutenant doesn't answer. His eyes are glued to the animal. A sharp slice of light shines out from its mysterious belly door.
Let's enter the belly of
A
the
gust
beast.
of freezing cold air rushes to greet you. You hear a low grumble as the bear regulates itself. This is the inside of a refrigerator. The lieutenant takes a peek inside. His hand has found the holster of his gun.
Relax, it's a fridge.
Of course, just a giant ice bear-shaped fridge.
He relaxes his hand, his face bathed in the harsh light of the open fridge door.
Let's take a look inside.
The shelves are empty. All you see are crumpled ice cream wrappers with the brand name, Revachol Ice City. A handwritten note has been attached to the door. The fridge is huge.
Note
You
from
pocket
door.
the note and the little fridge magnets keeping it on the door.
Yay. What's going on with the ice cream wrappers?
A friendly cartoon bear smiles back at you from a glossy cellophane wrapper. It looks nothing like the fridge. The paper still smells of vanilla and chocolate.
What is a giant bear-shaped fridge doing in the abandoned cellar of this in the first place?
Good question. It looks like an ice cream fridge.
The lieutenant reaches front of the wrappers. He studies it in delight. So they tried to sell ice cream from this hyper carnivore? That's true.
I know. What an unfortunate marketing choice. What is even worse, the bear is still costing them money to this day.
The lieutenant points at the red, snaky cable running from the
The
fridge.
fridge buzzes with energy. The electricity bill on this thing must be catastrophic.
A handwritten note you found from the giant ice bear fridge. It still bears some marks from the fruit-shaped kitchen magnets that were used to secure it from the refrigerator door.
The note is written with a blue pencil on a piece of lined office paper. The kitchen magnets have left spots on its surface.
Does it say anything interesting?
The lieutenant leans closer to read the crumpled note over your shoulder.
This is tangential at best, but the lieutenant's detective instinct is still active.
Let's read the note.
Someone has scribbled, S. I can't believe the off-site copy is still here. The illiterate ginger kid keeps stealing stuff from the studio, so I had to hide it somewhere safe.
It's probably Kuno.
You'll find the filament memory with the off-site copy in the frozen ice cream maker. Please take it home, ASAP. It's important. I'd do it myself if I lived in a civilized place with a freezer. Take care, Sully Swaff.
Oh, well, I guess I already have it, so...
Looks like someone from that radio game company upstairs. I'm a little surprised they just left their property lying here.
I'd leave in a hurry.
That's a plausible hypothesis.
Maybe I should have went for the... I feel like I'm going boring cop mode. I should have teased around with the entity.
It belongs inside a radio computer, storing its memory. It's like a tape. You listen to disco tapes, right? It's like one of your disco tapes, only for a computer.
It's like the production schedule you found. Only this one's an off-site copy.
Oh, so it's got another copy. But I think I already found that. But that was in the slipstream place, not the ice cream place. Illiterate
Really?
gin-
You don't have a single guess?
Here now.
Oh, I'm sure that child would love to get his hands on a filament memory. Even if he doesn't know what to do with it, he'd probably try to pawn it for speed, based on our encounter. I don't know. I assume it's somewhere close to the ice bear fridge.
Oh well. Guess I can try. An ice cream maker, defrosted and unplugged. Wait a minute. Wasn't it in an ice cream maker?
The note is written with a blue pencil on a piece
Oh,
of
the
lined
frozen
office paper.
ice cream
The
maker.
kitchen.
There's one. The flashlight casts a strange shadow. There is a hidden doorway. Two rusty rifles hidden above the piping. They look inoperable.
A few bricks have fallen off, revealing a compartment behind the wall. It's too dark to see in.
Where are
Seems
we?
like an old bunker from the revolutionary period. Look at all those rifles. Must be an old weapons cache.
Hole in
There
the
is,
wall.
yes. And there also appears to be something inside the hole. Interesting. Do you want to take a look?
Yes,
Your hand reaches
yes.
deep into darkness and spiderwebs. Rummaging around, you find rusty rifles hidden away.
Rifles.
Are these any good?
Most of them are rusty and inoperable, like the rest, but one catches your eye. A bolt-action model with a fine wood stock, in better cosmetic order than the others.
This one looks nice.
That's a rare sight. Seems to no longer be functional, but still a beautiful thing in its own way.
An old Belle Magrave from the Revolution.
It means there are firearms, albeit inoperable, still lying around in Martinez. It's an interesting coincidence, I would say. Might come in useful in the future.
He likes this find.
True. It's unfortunate the only bullet I have. Oh, yeah. A broken Belle Magrave from ages past. It's a 4-shot bolt-action military rifle with a wooden frame. Even if it worked, it's a shame I don't have any bullets that work in it. Someone has stuck some busted guns beneath the ceiling. Okay, I have the gun. What is this? Frozen ice cream maker that's still running?
This orange machine is buzzing like an old submarine. It has a hand-cranked ice cream churner on top and an electric freezer that appears to be frozen shut.
I don't want to accidentally break if this has the off-site copy of the filament. I don't want to accidentally break it.
You slip your fingers under the frozen lid, but the ice is too cold for you to get a good grip. A pry bar would come in handy here. No,
Wonderful.
this is going to need something else. Some kind of super pry bar.
Oh.
Don't even try to open it with a regular pry bar. You're just wasting your time. If you want to try again, then you need to have the pry bar in your hand, detective.
Equip the pry bar by going to the
Oh,
Tools
yes,
tab in
shut
your
up.
inventory.
I know.
Turning the crank feels oddly satisfying, like stirring your childhood dreams. In the distance, you hear water dripping.
Well, I guess I can give it a go.
This orange machine is buzzing like an old submarine. It has a hand-cranked ice cream churner on top and an electric freezer that appears to be frozen shut.
You know what I must do.
This orange
If I
machine
fail-
is buzzing like an old submarine. It has a hand-cranked ice cream churner on top and an electric freezer that appears to be frozen shut. The ice squeaks beneath the pry bar. You think you've got the bar jammed in there pretty well, but the lid simply won't budge.
What is
You
this?
see the pry bar's metal handle bending right before your very eyes.
Yeah, well, that's a good pry bar. I'm not criticizing it, but this ice cream maker is frozen shut. It takes an advanced tool to get it open.
Yeah.
I have no idea, officer. This ice cream maker isn't important enough to requisition a special tool.
Sooner or later, you will stumble upon a tool mighty enough. Then we will know what's in this mysterious ice cream maker.
Well, I give it my best shot. What's up with the thing?
2 cables are plugged into the breaker box. The red one leads to the ice bear fridge, and the black one to the ice cream maker nearby. An electric sizzle. The room is slightly quieter now.
Oh, if I turn it off,
Something
it'll
close
stop
to
being
you
cold.
dies with a soft electric purr.
Why did you do that?
The lieutenant raises his brows. but doesn't say anything. The electric distribution board now has one cable missing.
Now that it's off, it'll hopefully start melting.
This orange machine is dead still.
Yeah.
It has a hand-cranked ice cream churner and an electric freezer. The ice around it slowly melting.
Yeah, I still need something better, but it's a work in progress. Okay, bro. Insane mesh tank top. Clinically insane. Where did you even get that one? No. Really, who put that in a drawer? No further comments. Wear it at your own risk. Intercom wires running into the breaker box. Oh, cool. Now let's see what's over here. The wall collapsed. It's inaccessible now.
A thick layer of coal dust covers the furnace, coloring it pitch black.
Kim, what is this? I don't know what this thing is. I don't know.
Looks like it. Looks like an old central furnace used to heat the building. It's connected to the chimney.
He opens the door, gingerly peeks
No
inside.
one has used it in ages. No signs of any recent fire. Only dead rats.
Oh, dead rats. But where is the woman?
It's dark and grimy here. In the darkness you can hear chatter. It's coming from above. A voice or several voices talking to each other. Near the smoke chamber, upstairs.
Ooh.
The echo is so prominent, it's impossible to discern what the voices are saying or what's producing them.
Oh.
What are you doing?
I'm hallucinating. Or maybe
Wait,
it's the
really?
entity.
Take your head out of the chimney, please. It's not safe.
Smear my
A
hands
lush
with
layer
coal.
of coal now covers your skin, sinking into the wrinkles. Your hands look ancient. Maybe you could paint something with this coal. Leave a cave painting for future archaeologists. No, that would be stupid.
Conceptualization. Please, silence. The voices. Maybe it's the malignant entity.
You're right. The rooms do look like they're connected. But malignant entities don't exist. At least not the supernatural kind.
Always has to be the skeptic, this man.
I guess I'll kick it.
A hollow ring echoes through the furnace. Your toe hurts.
It hurt me twice? Oh no. Okay, but
A thick layer of coal dust covers the furnace, coloring it pitch black.
oh, I guess kicking it helped out quite a bit, huh?
Something breaks loose in you. A mighty bellow echoes throughout the chimney's depths. The chatter of tiny voices above suddenly cease. Then,
I shall talk to the entity. The entity shall be discovered.
I summoned the ghost of this commercial area. Answer me, spirit.
Hello? Did you say anything? I can't hear you. Please come upstairs. There's a safety curtain on the second floor. I'll open it.
you hear a low rumble upstairs. The sound of a curtain being pulled aside.
After you, officer.
This is productive. This means the woman was probably... Wait a minute! I can't. I forgot to examine one location. This. Another drawer. It's integral. It might have money. And it did. And more Nosafed. God knows I need more Nosafed. Is it this? Ah. Paint tins. Postcard. La Delta 51. The sunlight has made this postcard almost completely sepia-toned. Midtown traffic passes. Overhead, the ghosts of skyscrapers disappear into a beige midday mist. Vapor rising from the delta on which the district is built. The postcard was prepaid. The floorboards creak. Really? Shoes in a puddle of melting snow. Ah. This tray is full of dice. Colorful polyhedral dice. Hundreds of them. The candy dispenser has been repurposed to contain thousands of dice. Is this the D&D operation living on?
Hello, I'm Nia.
A bird-like woman sits on a throne of tools with emerald light shining through her hair.
Did you try knocking on my window? I must have missed you. I've been listening to my Milius.
She taps in her headphones.
So what kind of die are you looking for?
She's got a direct view to the backyard. You should interrogate her about the lynching.
I recognize this music, but from what? I mean, I know where it's from. It's just which track. What do you mean by milieu?
Yes, a milieu is like a call-in station. You need a two-way radio to access one. That's why I have these.
She passed the headphones on the table.
Mostly, they just teach you to swear in different languages. But some of the stations can be quite interesting. I was so absorbed, I must have missed you knocking.
Must have had me confused with someone else. I have not. I don't even.
Then how did you get inside? By the south entrance? You know what? It doesn't even matter. What matters is that you're finally here. Let's talk dice. Did you have something specific in mind?
Why are you asking me about
I'm a
dice?
novelty dice maker. Tell me the name of your role-playing system and I'll make the die you need. That's why you're here, yes?
Role-playing games? You know the one made by Fortress Accident. Does that count?
No, I was looking for answers.
Answers? How strange. These days people only come to me for dice and role-playing games. I'm not sure how helpful I'll be, but go ahead and ask.
The walls around her covered with rows of precious stones and minerals.
It almost looks as if the stones and dice are a natural part of the room, growing out of the shelves like stalagmites. No falsehoods are present. She's a novelty dice maker and doesn't have anything to hide. Ask what you need.
What do you know about the man who was lynched behind the whirling
Nothing
in
really.
rags?
I didn't know him.
The lieutenant looks at his notebook, then the woman under the large window.
Your window looks directly onto the courtyard. You're saying you didn't see or hear anything unusual last Sunday evening?
I'm sorry, detective, but as you know, I usually have my headphones on when I'm working. It shuts out most of the daily ruckus behind my window.
What do you mean by the daily ruckus?
Well, there's always something going on in the Whirling's backyard. During daytime, there are usually those kids. And lately, I've been seeing a lot of drunk workers
Damn right.
hiding about. Must be because of the strike.
What do Kuno and Kuno West do when they're not throwing rocks at bodies and defacing the public infrastructure? You know, her portrait reminds me of that one famous painting. I forget the exact name, but it's The Lady in Blue. With the... She's just missing a large pearl earring.
She's heard of the murder, but did not see it, sire.
But I never saw anyone during that fateful Sunday night, I'm afraid. I might have, but in this case, all I would have seen is my own reflection staring back from the darkness. It's really hard to make anything out in the yard when it's dark outside. Besides, I rarely get up to look out the window when I'm in the zone.
Understandable.
It's an odd profession, making dice for people, but I like it, and I prefer doing this to sitting at home.
She nods.
Anything else, officer?
How did you
How
become a
did I
dice maker?
become one? It was a business decision. I was a regular jeweler at first, but that's an unfocused field with too much competition. Some of my friends were role players. They asked me to make some polyhedral dice out of cobalt. That was my first order. I grew it from there. Not especially. I like working with rare materials and a steady pay. And role players as customers? They're nice people.
Surprising, in my opinion.
Some of those nice people have big bucks to spend on novelty items.
Of course. Tell me what you have in mind.
Okay, yeah, I don't.
No
actually,
need
never
to
mind.
rush. Take a look around, see if anything inspires you.
Where are we anyway?
We're inside the chimney of an old central furnace. It's strange, I know.
She looks at the ruddy bricks that make up the walls. Even though they've been repainted, there are still signs of coal-black soot here and there.
But when I arrived here, all the other rooms were taken, so I had to build myself a makeshift home. Besides, I don't really have to pay any rent here, so that's a plus.
Win.
Creative.
When she arrived here, there was no room anywhere else. She must have known the other businesses.
I've heard the stories, but I don't think those stories are true.
Lysance is the one who sent me. She's convinced the place is swarming with malicious energies.
Plaisance, the bookshop lady? I've heard that her business is doing rather well. Have the energies spared her somehow?
Actually, the bookstore is doing that well. There are hardly any customers, and she has to exploit her own daughter to keep the company going.
All right. But it's not just the bookstore that's still up and running. What about the whirling in racks? Some people say it's part of the building complex.
No. Yeah, not great.
And then there is me.
She sighs, looking at her messy work table. All kinds of tools lie there scattered, from knives to carving files to wire cutters.
I've been here for 14 years, selling novelty dice to role-playing enthusiasts. Not exactly a million-real business idea, yet somehow I've survived despite the talk of malicious energies. Strange, isn't it?
Maybe it's just because she's so talented that she's been able to woo the curse.
It's because you're competent and dedicated to your craft. The curse doesn't affect people like you.
What, so the curse only affects people with poor work ethics? What you're describing isn't a curse, it's capitalism.
I think it still might be you causing this, because as we all know, as long as you hustle, as long as you grind, there's no reason any business should fail. I mean, if clearly all those guys were not focusing hard enough.
So I'm the Grand Dragon in the cave. Might I ask what supports this claim?
I yelled to summon the ghost of the doomed commercial area. You responded.
Oh my, I've revealed myself. You better call the exorcists.
I don't have to call anyone. I'm a ghost whisperer.
Of course. How convenient. Well, if you ever find a way to explain all those inconsistencies in the curse, then let me know.
That's all she has to say on the subject. She has been thorough and truthful, as far as we can see. Plaisance needs to hear about this. Perhaps if you combine your psychic energies, you will make sense of the situation. The bookstore closes starting 2100. You'll have to do that tomorrow.
Do you know what happened to the other tenants?
More or less. Are you interested in anyone specific?
Oh, quite a lot of them spring to mind.
Slipstream.
They were made by a company called Slipstream. After they pivoted from making rotor blades to skis, their chief executive took off on a vacation with all their money. Honestly, I think it's quite funny. I think he's still sending out holiday transmissions from Tulula or Tiumotiri or Hashtkor or wherever he is. The usual, I imagine. That he's been thinking up all kinds of new business plans and can't wait to get started on them just as soon as he returns.
Her smile widens before she sees the lieutenant's face behind her.
Men like that are a curse.
Sure, but Slipstream is history now. All their remaining assets got seized by the bailiffs in 47. I have no idea why those skis and blades are still lying around in the house. Not much use now, I guess.
Nobody's buying.
They were just props. Why return them? Maybe you could make a sword out of one. No, wait, forget it. It would take too long.
Okay.
Yes, I think it was called Androgynous Orlando or something similar. They weren't a big hit around here. Turns out that working class men don't like genderless haircuts. They're scared of that word.
No. Oh, get Half-Life
A
in
bit of
here.
experimenting every now and then isn't bad.
I mean Half-Light.
It's not about the haircut. It's about the confidence.
What's wrong with a bit of experimentation?
I guess it just wasn't the time yet. It wasn't merely a gym, it was Artemitep's Boxing Club, a community project created to steer at-risk youth away from drugs and crime.
Kuno probably took those things off.
A kind man from Zemsk. I heard he had some trouble with the law when he was younger, and that's why he wanted to start the gym, as his way of giving back. Kuno. Who's Kuno?
Little ginger gremlin.
Oh, you mean the kid with the sailor's mouth? Yes, I've heard him yelling profanities in the backyard. I think it would take more than a gym to help that kid. It didn't.
Real.
If anything, it made the youth situation in Martinez even worse. At some point, someone started a rumor that the punching bag downstairs was full of amphetamines.
It's not really full of that. No one would store their drugs like that.
Yeah.
Eventually, the coalition took away the funding and the club went bankrupt. This was a few years ago. It's gotten much more peaceful around the plaza ever since.
What's up with the broken windows?
Oh, this one's a mess. There used to be a company that promised to repair windows 24 hours a day. What could go wrong with this one, right?
I think everyone needs and wants middle of the night repairs.
Turns out, the business was actually set up as a front for an illicit group that was producing snuff milias. Who would have guessed?
What's the snuff milieu?
And they never cleaned up the debris either. Now it's just littering the hallway and I have no idea how to get rid of it on my own.
I have to be sure.
It's a Sub Rosa radio station that broadcasts real murders with real victims. Some people pay good money to get off on it.
Shit.
Nothing changes in her tone as she says that. As if it's just another piece of information to lay out for the world.
I'm glad I tapped on that because shit, I had the wrong idea.
Don't worry, the ICP has a separate division that deals exclusively with unlicensed sub-roses. This isn't our problem.
It's like more
Good
murders.
luck with that. It's not easy catching those perpetrators.
The mounts.
You mean Mr. Fabron, the taxidermist? No, he mostly just did drugs. Anything else?
Okay.
There used to be a fashion atelier here, but I have forgotten the head designer's name. They were doing well for a couple of years, until the insect rights activists came.
Oh, No, they're making like beetle skin jackets. Oh no. Oh, eesh, they're gonna like be crushing them all up for materials. Horrible. There, I added some minutes onto my timer so I can get this over with. Really sucks how Zom has a fucking fashion line. I keep getting taunted by the fact they're selling an actual Kim Kitsuragi jacket, but you know, some of the bootlegs on the Etsy will have to do. On the other hand, it would probably be really easy to make a disco-ass blazer. Just, you know, the problem is finding a blazer in that dull green color. And you kind of have to make the rectangles a little reflective. A lot of things online kind of lean too far into the whole RCM thing and put letters and shit on it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The atelier produced a certain collection that used chitin among the materials. Apparently chitin is made in the Occident, where it's extracted from beetle wings.
Extracted.
And you know how all kinds of political movements are big in the Occident. The activists shut down the biggest chitin supplier, which of course caused the price to skyrocket.
Couldn't make any more.
And, naturally,
clothes.
all the most fashionable tastemakers refused to be seen in chitin from then on. The atelier went bankrupt before they could finish the collection.
I'm glad someone took care of the little guys.
Really? Anyway.
She looks at the windowsill where a dead fly is lying on its back, legs curled up in a bow tie. The machine.
Fortress Accident, the radio game studio.
She closes her eyes as some remnant of a memory lights up her face.
They were an interesting bunch. We talked about role-playing systems every now and then. Once, I even saw two of them get into fisticuffs over Wirral. They certainly took their work very seriously, even if they seemed to be chronically liberal with their schedules.
No meetings, no nothing.
The
just
usual.
work.
They ran out of money and couldn't get the project done on time.
I think what went wrong is the incredible
Well,
scope.
I did hear them talking at times.
She looks at the hallway as if she could still hear them chit-chat behind her curtains on a cigarette break.
They seemed to believe they were historical individuals on some grand quest.
She sounds almost mocking when she says that.
Well, they look quite
Yes,
impressive.
but when the money started to run out, they just began to complain a lot about capitalism. You know, how the markets are rigged to keep out new businesses and so on. In the end, they just didn't get it done. They didn't have enough willpower to produce something truly historic and to show up to work on time.
So they were lazy and didn't have a good sense of scope.
Not the wisest decision. You would have lost all your savings.
She tosses a pair of dice on the table and stops near the edge of the metallic desk.
The result is 1 on a 20-sided die.
Poetic.
Anything else?
The bear.
Oh boy, the fabled Revachol ICT. You're in for a treat here.
She smiles and leans closer, hands on her knees, like a stand-up comedian ready to tell a story.
The place was owned by two guys who had some rather innovative ideas about marketing. The bear was one of them. Now ask me about their other ideas.
Indeed. What were the other ideas?
There was really just one. And it involved picking out the prettiest girls in the neighborhood and paying them 20 cents per hour to man the booth.
20 cents?
And by man the booth, I mean slump behind the counter with a face that could maim you if you ever dared to disturb their bored magazine browsing.
Sounds like she really doesn't know how to be a female ally. Fritta does the same thing.
Employing silky teenage girls is a widespread practice, yes. Unfortunately, they always come in packs. I'm talking about acne-ridden girlfriends and gorilla-like boyfriends loitering near the shop. At least that's what happened with Ravachol ICT. And they already had the bear.
And the bear didn't work at all.
The bear.
She repeats, pressing thumbs to her temples, like trying to suppress a headache.
Of course not. The bear was terrifying. No one wants ice cream guarded by a hostile apex predator. To make matters worse, the fridge didn't work too well either, and half the ice cream came out malformed and partially melted. Eventually, Ravishaw Ice City lost the price war to its rival, Glacé 5000. Glacé 5000 sold caramel sundaes for only 5 cents a piece, out of regular fridges.
I gotta agree, that is just completely
Maybe,
sensible.
because the taxidermist who made the bear definitely wasn't. Doing his job, I mean.
He was doing
He said that
drugs.
the bear was his vision beast. He said he met his vision beast while high on desiccants. Called it Megatherion.
Sounds cool. Why is everyone doing drugs in this place? Even the taxidermist?
It's a drugs place, bro.
Megatherion, a mega wild beast. It's an imaginary beast that guides you through life by telling you to do more drugs, mostly.
But you do drugs. You do drugs and then you win with the bear. The bear helps you. I do drugs. I've got a vision beast
Do
myself.
you? Well, good luck keeping it under control. Anyway, now you know the story of the fallen ice cream empire. Anything else? Another failed business, perhaps? I've been here for a long time.
Buildings intercom.
Oh, right. I hope you didn't try to ring me. I think none of those doorbells work, including mine. I'm still in the middle of connecting the wires. Sorry about the confusion.
The doorbell with the empty name card must belong to her then.
Saw a name East Delta Pinball on the doorbell.
Right. It used to be a gaming arcade. This is an ancient failure, before my time. I'm not surprised, however. My advice? Don't base your business on a fad. Hypnotism, floriography, trick track, especially pinball.
Hey, I mean, I think all of those are pretty good. Shame about the pinball, though.
Agreed. Pinball is the worst.
What? What is it? What do you got against pinball? Well, I'm a shit detective, but at least I like pinball. I have a redeeming factor.
That's right. I haven't even written my name there. As I said, it's quite useless right now. It doesn't work yet. You could say so. Both houses were built at the same time and under the East Delta Commerce Center project. That explains why you can call the whirling from the intercom, albeit I doubt that anyone responds.
If the whirling is part of the same building, then it's part of the doomed commercial area. The darkness of this place is there, too.
It can't be true. They don't work here anymore. They've been gone for years. Are you sure it was Slipstream SEA? Was it a woman? Maybe it was Plaisance from the bookstore.
First, wasn't Plaisance. I know her and would have recognized her
Oh,
voice.
right. But did this person say anything?
Tricentennial Electrics.
Tricentennial Electrics?
Did the ghost?
It used to be a major electric company 100 years ago. Are you sure it wasn't just some kids playing a prank on you?
It was too real to be just a prank. Either we're dealing with a professional actress, or whatever happened, keep your cool. It's probably better to admit that it was a harmless prank.
No. Ghosts exist.
Pranks can be eerie. Oh, the kids these days. We were just one of them, and now they're terrorizing us. No solidarity.
Yeah.
Sure, I'm listening. Good. I hope it clarified things a bit. What else?
You feel nothing.
Ah.
If anything, it's uncomfortably warm in here.
I have to.
Excuse me, what are you doing?
The dice maker stares at you while you start to fuss with your pants.
Officer!
I'm trying to lower my body
And
temperature.
why would you do that?
It's part of this special technique I
And
have.
what technique is that?
She squints at you, a little astonished at what she's hearing. You still haven't gotten your zipper open. Okay, hear me out. Sometimes I get these feelings.
Miss, I apologize for my colleague's behavior. He's still recovering from an unusual medical episode.
Officer, this isn't how mature adults deal with their feelings.
Now you feel something. The cold damp of shame washing over you.
No, not like that. It's like I can feel the wind, or I don't know, the air pressure, and the air tells me
The
things.
air pressure told you to take your pants off in my studio?
This is not going very well, is it? Word-wise.
Yes.
Can you please employ this special technique somewhere else? I work here and my work requires concentration. Half-naked people don't help with that.
Oh, well. I'm sorry, Eric.
We should think about calling it a day, maybe. The nights are still miserably cold this time of year.
I haven't paid the cafeteria manager for damages
We
yet.
should take care of that then.
I think I have the money now. This is money. Well, I've given my oil money.
I'll also take a room at the Whirling. One cannot get much closer to the crime scene.
Splendid. Weird. I wonder where she sleeps. Like, does she make a room around here? That is gonna tear me apart. The store on the other side is closed for the night. Come back tomorrow? Well, I'm a crib. But as we've, I think we've come to the conclusion of the first day. I guess I'll pay Gart for the damages, and then I'll. Oh. You know what? I think I'll do that tomorrow. Did I actually save? Yes. See ya.